It's a little chilly here. It's been raining. I've got my hi, sweetheart. My poor dog wrapped up in the sleeping bag and laying on a soft fleece blanket. Alright, so I'll show you what I'm working on here. I'm building a medicine cabinet to go in the van. I'm just making it out of 1x4 knotty pine, the inexpensive pine, and these are just offcut pieces that were laying over in the wood pile that were left over from another project. So I've measured this art print, and then I determined how big I should build the box for the cabinet. This art print is going to go on the door of the cabinet. And then once this is built, it's going to be mounted inside the wall, one of the walls in the van. I'm going to cut out, mount it in there, and then the door will have this art print, and it'll just look like artwork on the wall. It'll be a secret cabinet, a secret medicine cabinet. I just thought that would be fun to have a secret medicine cabinet. And then when you open the door, there'll be a mirror on the inside, so that I can, get up in the morning and see how crazy my hair looks before I get my day started. So anyway, once I get this built out, I'm going to have some wood on the back side, and then I'll make a door for it. I'll put this piece of artwork on the door, and then I'll frame the door with this really beautiful cedar that I have, which is also just laying in the pile over there. Just frame it out kind of like this, if you can use your imagination. Yeah. This beautiful cedar framing that beautiful piece of artwork that I love. All right. So I'll show you where I'm going to put this. Hang on a moment. I'll walk over here. Okay, so like I talked about a bunch of times, I built this wall recessed into the van so that I would have a rough opening to make this screen door. Now, putting that wall in did cut out some space, as you can see here. I had to build the wall kind of in a little ways because, as everyone knows, the van is rounded at the top like this. So in order for me to, you can see here, in order for me to make the door as tall as possible, I had to build it all the way up to the top of the ceiling where it starts to curve inward. And I was only able to get about 70 inches height. In order to get that much height, I had to bring it in about 7 inches, which meant that I sacrificed some space over here between the sliding door and the rest of the van. But now that's created a nice little teeny tiny closet in here, which I kind of just shoved this curtain in, but eventually I'll probably use that closet for other things. Anyway, getting back to the wall. So that allowed me to create a nice straight wall here. And then this electrical cabinet abuts the wall, and I decided to just kind of leave this open, not plan anything on this wall other than this little countertop that goes with my kitchen, so that I could later on think about, what do I want to do with this wall? Well, I want to put a little medicine cabinet right here in the wall, so I'll just cut out a rectangle here. And that cabinet I'm making is 14 inches tall and 11 inches wide. So this wall's pretty thick. I built it with 2x4s and 2x2s. It's really solid. But it's got a big void in the center of it that I filled in with foam board insulation. So it'll be really easy for me now to cut out a rectangle, and then I'll have a pocket in there, and I can take that cabinet and recess it into the wall, and it'll just have that artwork. So when you look over there, it'll just look like artwork won't necessarily look like a cabinet. And then when I get up in the mornings, I can come over here and open the cabinet, get out my toothbrush, toothpaste, and on the inside door I'll have a mirror. I can stand here and brush my teeth. I can turn around here, I'll have a faucet for my sink. Eventually, brush my teeth, come over here, put my toothbrush away, close my cabinet. So that's the idea of that. Been planning this for quite a while to put it right here. Just now getting around to making it. All right, I'll update you guys on this. So, as I talked about yesterday, I've been working on finishing this floor cabinet. A lot of people were like, oh, the wood is so pretty. You should just clear coat it. That's true. The wood is really pretty on these drawers, as you can see. That would have been gorgeous if I just left it that way. However, I planned to have this green all along, and everything else got painted this moss green, as you can see. So I do have a lot of natural wood in here on the door. I've got natural wood. I've got these pretty countertops. I'm just going to clear coat these red oak countertops. They will remain natural. Clear coat all this. This is going to remain natural wood. I have all kinds of natural wood back here in the windows and on the wall. Then I've got the step stool and the toilet, and inside the cabinets it's all natural wood. So, and if you'll notice, a lot of the wood you see in here, it's very pretty. That was by design. When I put these things together, I handpicked scrap pieces of wood that I had that were the prettiest ones. And then I cut them in such a way that the prettiest grains, I cut off the part that was less interesting and kept the parts that were more interesting, like this. This was a long piece of cedar. I specifically cut it so I would have this knot offset right there. Same thing with like this wood up here. Same thing back here. You'll see that occurring a lot where I have dark grains and knots. I cut these pieces specifically so those would be there so I could enjoy them. So yeah, I mean, there's a method to my madness. Just like this little step stool I made for the dog. These were the prettiest boards I had. And these boards had been sitting around for months. And in the sun and stuff, it aged them and it turned this beautiful color. And then I'm like, I'm making my stool out of this because it's going to be gorgeous. So those are some little tips on when you're using wood. So getting back to the whole green. Hey guys. So my video got cut off. It's the inside of the big truck. Freightliner Cascadia. And here's my other cat. Arthur! Hey, Arthur! Hi! Hey, sweetheart. Being cute as usual. Getting back to the van build. Yeah, I planned on making my cabinets this time around myself. Last time I did a build, I bought the cabinets from Menards. I ended up painting those cabinets green. This time around I built all the cabinets myself. It didn't occur to me that I could just leave them natural wood. I tried to make the van so that there would be a lot of color inside. Spring colors. So I want the mossy green, the natural wood tones. I built a cargo trailer a few years back and I did green inside there, green and wood tones. And what I found is by doing that in the winter months, it was very nice. Very homey and cheery in there. It didn't feel dreary. It's dark and cold in winter and everything's gray and dead and brown and so it's nice to have a cheery space with some bright spring colors. So that's my method there. Hey, sweetie. You coming up here? Hi, buddy. All right. Well, talk to y'all next time. Bye.